Good morning, 0 DTE, or days to expiration. What's going on with this new phenomenon in options expiration with 0 days to go? We're going to break it down today. I'm Lex. This is Options Brew TV. Gents, what's up? See, you kept your you can't hold it.
So ominous.
I was doing so well until you looked at the cameras like, this is option B.
Oh my God. All right. This is no laughing matter. The market's getting tagged again. Mark, do you have them in front of you? You want me to read it out?
You go for it. I don't have them up yet.
All right. So SPOOs are down 52. Uh-oh, going the wrong way. NASDAQ down 204. The Dow down 300. What else? Our friend the VIX 32-ish, 3184. So that's gotten quite a run of late, right? What else? Yeah, I haven't looked at oil in a while. Holy cow! You know what happens? Because I don't go to the gas station, Jason. I never go there, so I don't know what oil's doing. I don't pay attention. What a snarky comment. Anyway, let's talk about 0 DTE. I see this written all the time. It's a 0 then DTE. And I always looked at it. I go, what the hell is an OBTV-Traders? I could never figure it out. But then I realized it was a 0. And then I started doing some research. So I've spoken to recently to some folks over at the SIBO and their marketing, and they're telling me that 0 DTE options, I think in the SPX XSP, which are cash settled, we'll talk about that in a sec, are up. The volume's up 33%, and the retail trading folks love it. So I can certainly say with a surety that when I was on the floor as a pro side trader, I would hate to have the other side of these. That's just me. Mark, do you have a feeling on any of that?
Oh, it's the ultimate pin risk, gamma explosion, theta implosion. I mean, it's just the force of Greeks coming at you. I think Jason said in our pre-show, it's the cheapest way to get your Greeks, but they are the sharpest at that, in those final hours. So it's you're juggling dynamite, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I hate you're right. You are juggling dynamite. It's almost like the musical chair game or the hot potato game, right? You just keep passing it to the next guy, and hopefully the music stops and you're in the chair. Jason, you might love it though, from your perspective, right? As with the fund sort of mindset.
Well, yes. I mean, if I had infinite money, I would love it. But like you guys said, I don't partake necessarily, but I watch it because the dealer positioning on them makes the market so profound that you kind of have to. I watch it a lot. I've talked to quite a few people not CBOE about 0 DTE, not so much retail, but it seems like there's a lot of funds that sell 0 data expiration. Somebody has to be buying them though, because the implied volatility on them are always so much higher than like the next day. So there's like that if you want to try to do a move overnight and retain a little bit of Greeks, you can probably do it like a 1 to 0 data expiration, but yeah, it's always so backwardized. I know that there's a lot of funds and stuff that sell them. I personally think because I have my Volin tool and I see what the dealer positioning is. Whenever I have like a little script that gives me the Greek positioning on 0 days to expiration, and it's usually the opposite of what Volin did. So my suspicion, that is completely unconfirmed, is that there's a lot of wholessalers out there using 0 data expiration to control their Greek risk.
Right. So, yeah. So what did, just so I'm clear, what do you think the dealers have in terms of inventory on the 0 DTEs?
Well, right now they're most on 0 day to expiration, or so their overall position going into today is negative Vega, negative Vanna, which to me means there's people are still hedging. There's still a lot of bought puts.
Right. So the dealers are selling stuff. Is that correct?
Yes. Right. They're selling stuff. Both But
Mhm.
because it's negative Vanna, then that's showing there's more puts than calls being sold.
Yeah, right. Okay. So that surprises me a little bit. My
So
thought
that
would,
being said, though, on this,
are you, wait, hold on. Is Jason still here?
can you hear me?
Oh, no, you broke up.
I'm
I mean,
here.
yeah, you're on the dot matrix dial-up modem again.
Sorry.
All right.
No, I was
no,
just saying the 0 days to expiration. The 0 days to expiration is the opposite way of what I see in Volin. So I think that there's a lot of wholesalers that are controlling their risk using 0 day to expiration options.
Okay. So a wholesaler being what? The retail player or no?
Citadel,
Well,
he's
a deal. That's a dealer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mark. From our perspective in the day, like you said earlier when we first brought this up, I probably tried to stay away from 0 DTE myself at all costs. Not at all costs. I shouldn't say that. At most costs. Because I think you're right. It's just for the viewer's sake, Gamma and, Vega's not a big deal with 0 DTE, right? Because Vega's more of a longer term kind of concept, I suppose. But Gamma and Theta are the worst ones, right? And Gamma is so exaggerated with 0 DTE, and so is Theta. So you kind of love one and hate the other in terms of the Gamma Theta relationship, right? I'd love to have a million Gamma and no Theta, but we know that's impossible for the most part, right? Or the other way around, I'd hate to have a million negative Gamma and all that great Theta. I would, that's the hardest thing in the world, either way.
Yeah, in some ways, I wonder if the dealer positioning is, it's hard to know if it's chicken or the egg, right? Are they knowing that the counterparties, whether they be funds, whether they be retail, if they're selling these, then they're going to just lower their prices on the near term, part of the curve to the extent that it makes for a reasonable buy. And I mean, with the way this market's been moving around, if they can effectively scalp that Gamma, they can kind of not only benefit from having that short term Gamma that they can, potentially scalp or trade around, but then they can sell something further out on the board. And while it's not exactly a perfect hedge, right, that, they're just going to move their curves as a function of the supply and demand. So if customers are blasting them, then, they're just dropping bids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Getting back to my suspicion about what the retail side does is I think they probably are sellers of this. But Jason, your Volin's not necessarily saying that. That's what I was getting at. Because I feel that a retail person can more easily take advantage of a Theta play with a 0 DTE, and they're going to do a diagonal or a calendar spread. So they're going to buy the next expiration out, sell the front, try to get, instant gratification on a Theta game, and then buy that in, maybe just close the whole spread out or roll it out another batch, right? That's what I feel like retail would do, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right that that's the right play to do right now is calendar spreads on 1 to 2 day expiration. Because like I said, that front month, that 0 day to expiration holds its implied volatility pretty well until the end of the day. So doing that midday, it's actually a really good strategy. Although I think that they're giving retail a lot of credit. I think they just buy. They're mostly long. Yeah, but I think like hedge funds, though, I think are selling them like crazy. Like vol funds and stuff like that.
Okay. So
mostly I think they're being used to cheaply control risk for the day.
Yeah. Can you show Volin on like an SPX, front 0 DTE? Are you able to pull that up?
I can't do 0 DTE yet because it takes a lot of computing power in order to do that.
Okay.
But once we build up enough capital from Volin, then it's definitely on the list.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
I do have a script that I have for 0 day to expiration. So,
okay.
But yeah,
it's definitely it's definitely big talk. I tell you that. With the exchanges, it's really increased volume there. So the next question I'd say is
the talk of the town at the trader show.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's a talk of the town at an exchange who's happy to list them on their proprietary product, right? So I think that what they saw was that the investing public trades within, I want to say, I can't remember the stat, but it's, let's say, 40 days of expiration right? And it's most of the volume from the retail side occurs in that zone. So retail people don't typically care about leaps and beyond, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And their idea was, well, if that's the case and people like short dated options, we're going to really give them something. How about a 0 DTE? And it proved to be pretty fruitful in terms of volume. It really did catch on. Now, what's interesting about it is I think they've listed it in cash settled products, SPX, XSP, etc. And I think those might be the only two, but I could be wrong. Obvious reason, right? So the problem that the brokerages have and the clearing firms have is, what do you do with a 0 DTE on assignment? Because it comes in the day of, and what happens. So you got to be very careful from a risk standpoint to get put or to get called from your stock. So that's why it's on these cash settled ones to start. And I think they have one in
XSP, by the way,
now.
does not have Tuesday or Thursday options.
Who doesn't?
XSP does not have Tuesday or Thursday.
Okay, so it's SPX, but I wonder if Spider does. That was my question, because that's going to be delivery of it.
I think Spider's also just Monday, Wednesday, Friday right now.
Yeah, they don't have Tuesday, Thursdays yet. No.
Got it. So yeah, the fear is obviously that on assignment you're going to get stock, and that the account can't handle that. So I heard that if there's 0 DTE in some places might not be open that trade on the day of, or the 0 DTE. It's got to be a closer. So interesting.
Yeah, I think one of the other really interesting kind of dynamics with the introduction of these, and it's really been very recently, right? I think we're talking late March, early April, that they really went wild in SPX, is like the extent to which it's having an intraday effect on either exacerbating volatility, or sort of that tail wagging the dog idea of are we seeing the actual derivatives markets impact the ultimate price of the underlying markets? And I think there are scenarios where it is happening. I think it's one of many factors, but I think with any new product, right, it's taking, as the market structure changes, the market takes a little bit of time to digest how it's processing all that, new flow.
Right. Yep. No, I agree. I think the other good play too for the retail persons, they probably don't pay attention so much to the gamma component anyway, because they're not trying to be delta neutral like a dealer would be. So they're not, they have a directional bias, and it's time based. But let these babies decay and flame out, and I'll move them on. So I can't think like that. Where I don't look at the gamma. When you show me all my Greeks, I got to look at all of them. So except for Ultima, which I don't even know what that is yet. So look at Jason over there. He puts Ultima in there. You know what that does. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's going to grow and grow and grow too, though. And the other thing too is if the market making community doesn't want to have these jammed down their throats, they're going to be interesting volatility discrepancies and market with discrepancies potentially in these things. You know how we were, Mark. We keep getting this stuff jammed down our throat. We keep lowering bids, and all of a sudden it looks funny relative to the next expiration, right?
Yeah, I think that's just going to be the way they find their sort of right price is there's some level that you're going to buy that 0 DTE and it's going to be a great scalp. Now you're going to have to work for that, but there's always a level you're willing to buy, and there's always something expensive on the board to sell relative to it.
Yep. All right. Well, cool. Anything else on that? I think. Oh my gosh, my prediction is going the opposite way.
We're giving up everything we got yesterday.
Yes, we are. The SPOOs are down about 75 now, so 2%. I was so happy yesterday with the big move up. No good. All back and then some. No fun. Still taking up on the day.
We're higher on VIX too. So this not just higher on VIX today, but VIX recovered all it lost yesterday and some. So.
Yep. Yeah, I'm seeing. Are you seeing VIX up around 22.5 thereabouts, Jason?
32 and a half.
I'm sorry,
32.
32. My bad. 32, exactly right. Yep. That's what I'm seeing. What is that? What is that in a percent move? What is that implying? I don't know my calculator.
It's about right. It's about the right calculation. And
Yep.
it actually has been all year long. The VIX is, implied volatility, the skew has been mapping these moves very, very well. Like, if we drop 70 points and you see that VIX is up 2 points, that's usually what the dealers have been predicting on skew pretty well. I think that dealers have been managing this bear market pretty well.
Yeah. I think that's right.
The wings is underpriced, but you try trading those without losing all the time.
There's another spread for that. There's a bird spread for that. Don't worry. We'll talk about that on another one. Some kind of condor or something we'll figure out.
Yeah. So Lex, what is the talk of the town? You're at the Chicago Traders Expo.
Yeah. We're at the. Hang on a second. I got it on my badge. It's the Trader Show, something or other, 2022. It's so what it is it's it's over on Navy Pier in Chicago, and I would say it's mainly data type people who seem to frequent it. There's a cryptocurrency presence. There are also algo and machine learning folks who are here and companies who are here. So that's sort of I would say the bias, if there is one. You see a lot of data folks here. Our good buddy ORATS is here presenting, so they have a booth too. So is that kind of? I think it's that kind of group. I haven't seen a lot of retail traders. We did talk to someone who has an AI machine learning sort of algo that he puts into his room. So we're going to be hopefully talking to him a little further. It looked pretty interesting. But that was the only trading sort of centric entity I saw here. So we're going to go back after this over to the show and make another loop. Pretty well attended, which was good to see. A lot of booths, speaking slots are all full, so it was good. We enjoyed it. Not necessarily in our wheelhouse, I guess, but still pretty interesting. Might be in your wheelhouse, Jason.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, you could present Volin sometime in the future.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, you gotta make a hat. You gotta have a hat or a mug. Everyone gives out hats, mugs, pens, and notebooks. Well, today's swag day. I'm gonna go make the loop on swags and try to fill up my basket. I got a big basket for swags.
There we go.
There. What's that say?
Trick or treating a month early.
Damn funds. There you go. I like it. Very good. All right, boys. Well, I got to run. All good. You guys have a great weekend. And 0DTEs. I'm going to keep my nose down on this one. I want to see how the volume goes with this stuff. We'll have a update, as it changes. All right.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Happy trading.
Up on the day. We watch.
That's your bet.
That's my bet. All right. Talk to you soon.
All right.